guys.
Lord of the Rings had the official trailer come out. So I got to be straight up. I watched this trailer twice. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that the Sweaties don't like it. Can someone tell me why the Sweaties don't like it?
Mike, do you know anything about this?
Because a lot of this shit that I'm seeing online is all this horse shit about like, I don't like, it's a lot of this. It's the same thing that they accuse Disney of. You know, forced diversity, this, that, the other, all those. Like, I want to hear some legitimate criticisms of it, though, so far. Like, does it not look good? Does it not sound interesting?
Like, it looks really good.
I can't think that it's bad if they spent $1 billion.
Well,
on it.
I mean,
like,
that's not the metric that I want to go by, but it looked beautiful. That's the thing, is I don't have hardcore knowledge of the deep lore of the Lord of the Rings universe and like Middle Earth. But to me, it looks like it's going to be an interesting and fun adventure movie or TV show, which is what I want out of it.
And I haven't seen any of the Lord of the Rings, so if they planned out 5 seasons for this show, they know where they're starting, they know where they're ending.
And that's way better than Disney,
which is fucking
light years ahead of Disney
to hear. And I think that I would actually probably watch and maybe even enjoy this because I haven't watched any of the Lord of the Rings. They're on my list though. I've watched the first Hobbit, I think.
John, did we watch Lord of the Rings together?
I think we might have. And I think we watched The Hobbit together too, like the Hobbit movies.
I remember you guys watching Desolation of Smaug one night when I was hanging out in the house.
Yeah,
like way back.
Yeah,
in
that
the
was
day.
years ago. Though.
Yeah,
I thought we saw them in theaters as they were coming out.
I went and saw the first one with Danny and Jerober. And then Danny and I were supposed to go see the second one, and we got caught in a snowstorm. So we did not go see it, and then I just never picked it up with the Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah. I mean, like, we could say as much as we want about, like, the Hobbit movies, but I think the Lord of the Rings movies are, like...
Are what they're really pulling from.
Really, really beloved, you know. Like,
I
mean,
for sure.
Some of the best, you know, cinematic, you know, storytelling in Hollywood.
Without doubt. And, like, here's the thing. I'm just, like, I don't want to shit on Lord of the Rings because I know how good it is. Like, I realize how many people, like, look up to that, draw inspiration from that. I'm just not into, you know, swords and sorcery. You know what I mean?
Could have fooled me.
Oh, what do you? Why? What do you mean?
All the games that you play.
Yeah, but like, what games are like that?
I don't know.
The ones that you play. You know.
Yeah, Sword and Shield.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Okay.
Mike, help me out here. What games does he play that's like Lord of the Rings?
We were playing like, you know, when we were playing like New World and things like that, and
yeah, but New World
kind of
sucked, and
like
you know it.
Valheim. But
what's the
I think a lot of
Amazon,
like a lot of what I'm seeing from this is it's pretty much the same as like the Star Wars argument, where it's like, oh, you're adapting and changing canon and you know shit like that, and people are just like really stuck on this is the like law, this is you know what Tolkien wrote is the Bible, and we can't change anything off of that.
Yeah,
it's an adaptation of it, so people just are gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah, either way, I mean, like, I still want to watch it, though.
People are scared, you know, after everything. They don't want it to get the Star Wars
They're
treatment.
clutching their pearls.
They are clutching their pearls. And I don't blame them, because they did Star Wars dirty.
Which is like, I hate how people are like, if they take a property and they're like, we're going to put it in this original direction. We're going to take the elements of it. Like, I'm a fan is if they just took, like, if they take Batman, like, they do it all the time. They just did it with the newest movie. They take Batman... They set it apart from everything else, and they just tell its own story, like or any one of these characters or anything, right? Just as long as it's good, you know. I don't really care if it's like canonically fits. I wish Star Wars would get off the canon train, like officially, just do a story that's fun to watch and that tells a good story, not just all the shows
those
that
Taika movies. You know, we'll
hopefully. See. They didn't do too great with Thor.
Hopefully he's less funny.
They pull it back a bit.
Yeah, I would like it if he pulled it back a bit.
So. That's what I'm hoping for is just a good original story. Like I'm not that person that gives a shit if like the canon isn't solidly like followed. You know what I mean? I wish more people would like that.
Yourself.
Well, you look at something like The Boys that is totally original. Like it takes cues from the comic book, but it doesn't like follow it religiously, and it's fucking awesome.
I feel like there would still be haters even if, you know, it was like super strict to following like the stories and things like that. People would be like, well, this isn't original. Like, why can't you tell a new story? It's like either way, there's always haters. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Haters going hate.
Yeah, it's the same kind of shit. It's like whatever you want to pick. It's like what Pat said, where it's, you know, you're trying to be like, you're incorporating diversity, and then it's like a bunch of people are like, well, you know, elves are like this or whatever, or dwarves are like that. If they're one way, they can't be anything else.
I watched some video that had an argument that's like, nevertheless, this is a made up world, so the character should be like this. I'm pretty sure Tolkien described the elves as fair skinned. It's like, but what?
Like,
it's a
you can
fucking
still,
TV show, bro.
like to your point, like you could still have a good story,
yes,
regardless of that.
Yes,
you know?
I think that showing that diversity in that landscape is important because of how our culture is like a big melting pot. But I also want to make sure that they focus on telling a good story. Like The Witcher is super diverse, but you don't hear any controversy about it because they tell a good story. Whereas you look at Obi-Wan Kenobi, they played the diverse card, but they told a shit story. So it's like, here's shit story, and we're gonna complain about diversity on top of it.
But
you
then
know
people
what I mean?
like to play that diversity card and say like that's why it was bad.
Exactly.
Oh, exactly, and I don't agree with that
Yeah.
either. I don't. Like I said, these are not bad things that they're focusing on.
Yeah,
it's just when they put that over telling a good story. Like why,
Right.
you know what I mean? When the medium is to tell a story.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think
which is like emblematic of Miss Marvel, which is diversity turned up to 11, but little spoiler alert, I love the last 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to it later, but it tells a great fucking story.
Absolutely.
I found out.
And I think the fact that you were saying that they have 5 seasons planned out already,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's already, I mean, compared to Star Wars, if we're doing that comparison, I feel like that's a big difference because, you know, I mean, I guess because it's a prequel, like they kind of know where they're going to end up eventually. So I'm sure
Yeah.
that helps with like the storytelling, you know, and the
Oh
planning.
yeah,
and stuff.
for sure. Absolutely. There's no doubt. I mean, whereas like Star Wars, it's like, are they just making this up as they go? You
like
know?
by the minute.
And
Yeah.
they were.
And they were.
really
and
were.
the
Yeah,
answer
fair
was
enough.
yes.
They were. So before we move on this subject, I just want to know: does anybody have anything insightful from this trailer they can talk about in this segment? Because I don't. I really don't have. I know nothing about Tolkien.
I
or
don't know.
Lord of the Rings,
I don't know a lot about.
but I know
Lord of
this
the
is a
Rings.
big fucking.
I'm just excited. The only reason I brought it up when we were talking about what we're going to talk about this week is because I'm excited that new Lord of the Rings is coming and it looks good. It looks solid.
I know. I just know that it's a prequel. I know that it takes place like way before the Lord of the Rings movies.
It's like the Second Age or
the
something.
Second Age or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, the second age of Middle Earth. So it's like thousands of years back before like anything happened.
Well, I think
with
in the
Hobbit and
trailer
Lord
they
of the
said
Rings.
shit happened before the sun even rose or whatever. Like that's
those
what.
trees with the light came out of them.
yeah.
Yeah, those 2 trees.
Yeah, those. You're right. Those it looked like the Elden Ring. Tree.
Yeah, that's why I was.
Berg.
Remember Danny said something about it? You remember that?
No, I
No?
don't.
Okay.
He'd be the one to ask.
Yeah.
This was his.
Just call him up. Get him on the
All
line.
right. Well, either way, I'm gonna watch it. It comes out in September. I think actually Labor Day weekend or the weekend after, right?
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on this show.